And it's showing up like this today. So I did the session for everybody on our email list today. And as I was doing my own thing this morning, and what showed up was this thing, and I put it in an email already today. And so I'll just give it to you, is to follow your passion, of course, do what you really want to do, you know. And then the other part is a funny one. It's a simple one, to notice your life. And what happens when you notice your life, what I've noticed is you start to get happier. You know, you can still have bumps and you go up and down, and there's stuff that happens and affects us and everything. But you can bounce back quicker. And so that's one thing. Richard Bartlett used to talk about that. He would say, notice what you notice. That's a key thing in matrix energetics, to notice what you notice. And it's a 2-point in a matrix 2-point, because 1 point is your heart space, like what you notice in here, and 1 point is what you notice, you know, in the world, or in your patient or your client, or in your situation. And so you got these 2 points, and in between is infinity. And so then the universe can go, oh, this one. So when you do the 2-point and you let go and drop into your heart space and go to the space of joy, it's like the universe goes, okay, let me go search for that. Oh, here's a version of that, what you really want. So one of the keys I found is to actually go find a way to do what you really, really, really want to do. And then to you know, people say to enjoy it. There's a podcast that one of my clients yesterday was listening to. He said, and a guy that made millions and millions and millions of dollars and did a lot of good in the world. And they were asking him, what would you do differently? What would you tell your younger self? What would you do differently? And he said, really, I would enjoy it along the way, because he didn't enjoy it along the way. And here he had everything he wanted, and he'd had it for many years, but he wasn't enjoying it. And so it's like, but it's hard to make yourself enjoy it. Like, you keep trying to convince yourself, I should really enjoy this. You know, it is a beautiful day. And so here's another way to do that, is to just notice what you notice. And when you notice what you notice, that happiness bubbles up. So we're going to start with this process that we've used here a lot, but it's really key, because I have some clients that are very far along. They're doing this at a very high level. And in fact, one of them at a very high level, she's a master at mastering this inner world. And but she doesn't know what she wants. And so it's like, she had all these different versions of stuff, but whenever she thought about wanting this version, like an apartment in New York, she would have all the problems in her head of what would happen if she had that apartment in New York. And then she had this other one, a villa in the Mediterranean, and she already has like two places to live. And but she had then all the problems that would happen if she had a villa in the Mediterranean. So it's like, she was like that. And I said, well, you don't have to marry the desired result. You can date it for a while. Like, you could just go have the New York apartment for a while and experience that. And then the villa and experience that, because she does manifest stuff using this process. And but she's still kind of playing with that, like this idea, like what does she want? And so it's like, she said she's not creating her next level of goodies in the world, as she calls it. And she thinks it's because she hasn't pointed it at anything yet. So interesting idea, huh? It says, confirm your speaking language, English. That's so funny, because she talks a different language. She speaks a different native language. So here's, we're going to do this process to first know what you want, and then achieve it, find a way to do your passion, and then to enjoy it. So and it has all those pieces in here that we talked about. So let's go straight to it. Let's just take a moment. And then press the distal end of your right index finger 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have a very powerful technology here to help you get what you want. And so now imagine the white window frame, and your right eye is looking through it. It could be eyes open or closed. And then what do you want? And just go ahead and live that experience in your imagination, experiencing whatever that is for you. What do you want? What would you want for your life? And you could notice what you're wearing. You could notice where you're living. You could notice the shoes you're wearing. You could notice how much money is in your pocket. You could notice who you're with. You could notice the speed that you walk at. You could notice how you interact with people. You could notice how you notice the world, what you see, and what you hear, and what you feel in your body. You could notice how you handle problems. You can notice what you do when you mess up. If you treat somebody badly, you're short with somebody, irritated, frustrated. You can notice what it's like to go through your day. You can notice how well you do your work. Like, do you do your work really, really well? Do you do your best or not? Washing dishes, driving around, doing errands, doing your work. Do you do your best? You keep your word. And then say you've had that for 3 years. And now let's press this one more time. 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now having that for 3 more years, 3 years, what do you want now? Now, what do you want? And so see how you go through the day. When you mess up, when you treat somebody badly, when you don't do it right, notice how quickly you correct it. Notice what's important to you. And then take your right hand and pat your heart 6 times and think, very good. And bring your attention to your body and notice what you notice. And so now here's this extra piece, this notice what you notice your life, whatever that is in your vision that you want, hopefully you came up with something that you truly want. If you haven't come up with your passion yet, what you truly want, then you keep doing the process. And in this space of the subconscious, the superconscious, by activating that index finger, you'll go to that space and start to see what is it you truly want. Because that is one of the keys to know what you want. Kind of like a little kid that knows they want to be a football player, or they know they want to be a filmmaker, or a dancer. So the key at this point then is to notice what's happening in your body and to just follow it. So now we'll just stay very present to the sensation. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body and just notice the physical sensation. Because what can happen when you think of your vision, it can feel really good, or you might not feel much of anything, or it might have some sort of thing that feels not so good, like pressure somewhere in your chest or your tightness in your neck or your gut. It's like you would think it would feel really, really good, but there could be something that doesn't feel quite so good. And whatever that is has got the, it's the doorway to the infinite. It's the doorway to healing stuff up. Because a lot of the stuff that we're running as patterns of how life goes, you know, if you're always getting victimized, or if you're always getting attacked by viruses or whatever's going on, not doing well in business or work or relationships or whatever it is, of course it can have its root causes in those first years of life. And the problem is we don't have a lot of language in the first few years of life, and we're like a sponge. We just bring it right into our subconscious without filters, and then it runs as a pattern. And so how do you fix that? You know, there's talk therapy to try to understand it, but if you understand it completely, you just got a PhD in the problem, but you didn't fix it, in my opinion. But so this is a way to go to the root cause of it and heal it up. And the way we heal it up is let it be felt. Because when it came in as a problem, as you know, when you're in the womb or in the first few years of life, your mom said something, your dad was dealing with something, there was a lot of stuff going on, and you were soaking it up, whether you were in the womb or the first few years of life, and hurt. And so what we do with this process of what's happening in the body and following it is we let it be felt. Because we've been protecting these things for a long time. We don't want to feel these things, of course not. But if we can feel them one time completely, then we're free, because they don't have to be protected anymore. They've had their say, they're done. And then you don't have to protect yourself from it. It frees you up your immune system. It frees up your creativity. It frees up your relationships. People see you differently. So this is the key to review it. It's think of your vision, and we like to use that index finger to clear this up, the conscious mind. Think of your vision and see it and live it. A lot of methods have that idea to like envision it. And then we have this superpower to let go of our thoughts and go feel what's happening in the body. And that's our process. So that we can feel whatever that is, so that it's completely heard, completely felt, completely seen, and then it's done. So for the next few moments, we're going to all together, and it's exponentially more powerful because we're all together doing this. We're going to feel what's happening in the body. That's it. And just stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body. Notice the most intense part. Notice the most intense part of the most intense part. That's right. That's right. You're doing great. It's so powerful with all of us doing this, because our awareness, our conscious awareness, is like a flame, and it's burning off whatever that is for each of us. And we have a bunch of little flames, not little flames. We have a bunch of flames. And so that's a big fire. So it's like you pop into this with all of us, and we all are using this process of going straight to this infinite, this portal, this flame. So let's stay out of our thoughts. That's it. Stay in our bodies. Let go of all distracting thoughts. Feel your body inwardly. That's right. That's right. And if you still feel something at the end of a session, you still burned off a whole bunch of that stuff. And you just pick up where you left off at the next time. And we do it with this this process. We do it other ways too. I'll talk about that when we finish this part of the session. But we're using it right now with the what do you want? To notice your vision. What do you want? What's your passion? How can you do it? And then you feel it, see it, and then we let go of the thoughts and we go in the body and we spend some time noticing it. Like Richard Bartlett would say in Matrix, notice what you notice. My friend Don Lay, who had the near-death experience, he would jokingly, not jokingly, but he would smile and laugh when he was saying it. He would say, shut up and listen. Just let go of your thoughts and listen. Watch. Ooh. And you could just take a moment even, and while you're watching and noticing, you could just kind of consider, who is it that's watching? Who are you? It's the who am I? Who is watching? It's another 2-point. What are you watching? What's you noticing? And who is it that's watching? Okay, and then let's do the next part. We're just going to go for it today. And let's push the middle segment of the right index finger 6 times. Bypasses that conscious mind, goes straight to the subconscious, the stuff that came in the womb in the first few years of life. And having all of that, having what you just noticed, having what you want, having all that, what will you do? What will you do? So see that through the white window frame. What will you do having all that? How will you notice the world? What will you do? How will you notice what you see and what you hear and what you feel and the actions you take? And who will you be? Who will you be? Having all that, who will you be? And then take your right hand and pat your heart 6 times and think, very good. Very good. And then put some of your attention in your body and notice what's happening and just follow it. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body. Notice the most intense part. Notice the most intense part, the most intense part. And then take your index finger and squeeze the proximal part 6 times. And then with your right eye through the white window frame, having all of that, everything you say you want, having all of that, what will your life look like? What do you want your life to look like? And then envision that, see it, feel it, hear it. What will your life look like? How much space might you give yourself before you react? How might you not assume or take things personally? How will you do your work? And then take your right hand and pat your heart 6 times and think, very good. And then we'll bring our attention back in the body. What's happening in the body? And let's just notice. Notice what's happening in the body. You notice what you see, what you hear, and what you feel in your body. And let's take it to that next level. Thank you, Dr. Naram, for all of this. Squeeze the distal end of your right index finger 6 times. And having all of this, if you knew you were going to die in the next 6 months, what would you most want to do? And what would you most want to be? And if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you most want to do? And if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you most want to be? And if you had $10 million in your bank account and you didn't have to work another day in your life, what would you most want to do? And if you had $10 million in your bank account and you didn't have to work another day in your life, who would you most want to be? And then pat your heart 6 times and think, very good. And then we do the secret part for us. Secret weapon is notice what you notice. It's all go in the body. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in the body. Notice the most intense part. Notice the most intense part of the most intense part. And just follow it. Follow the feeling. Just notice it. Give it your full attention. Wait. That's right. That's right. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body. You're doing great. That's right. That's right. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body. Okay, then let's take a little pebble from our head and our intention, our mind's eye, and we'll let it drop and it'll fall somewhere in here in this heart space area on 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'll turn the recording off and then we'll go to our one-on-one healing. Great work. I'll put this one in the portal for us. Atomic Success Secrets.